Hi, welcome to the world of Big Data and Hadoop. In this small video, we will be giving the overview of Hadoop and Big Data. So let's start with the agenda. So we will be covering these points, that is internet in real time, what is Hadoop, master slave architecture, why do we need Hadoop, what is Big Data, why Hadoop is important for career, prerequisites to learn Hadoop, and Hadoop training details. So let's start with the first one, that is internet in real time. So nowadays every single device is connected with internet. Whether it's your mobile phone, it's your laptop, it's your desktop, or it's your tablet. And these devices are generating large amount of data over the internet. This picture is giving you the idea like how much of data is being generated. If you want to have a real-time look at the data generated, you can click on the link which is given at the bottom of this slide, and this will be opening a web page. You can see this. On this web page, the data generated is displayed. You can see at the bottom. It is saying, by the way, in the 9 seconds you have been on this page, approximately 2,93,000 GB of data was transferred over the internet. And this is still changing. You can see that 242 accounts are created and this much of tweets in Twitter. Similarly, the details for YouTube's are displayed here. Detail for LinkedIn is there, Skype is there, emails sent are there, files saved, WhatsApp details, Facebook details, application downloaded from Play Store and Apple Store are displayed here. The item purchased from Amazon and the money spent on Amazon is displayed here. This web page is giving you the idea how much of data is being generated in seconds. So if I talk about the data generated in hours or days or months, there will be very huge amount of data. So gone are the days when we were dealing with GB or MB of data. Nowadays we are dealing with terabytes and petabytes of data. So let's move to the next slide now. The next is what is Hadoop. So as we have seen that there are lot of data being generated over internet, and in order to deal with, we need a technology which is Hadoop. So it is an open source framework. That means you can download it free of cost from Apache website and you can use it. This is a distributed storage and distributed processing environment. That means whatever size of data you have, that's not an issue, because that will be suppleted and that will be distributively stored on multiple machines. Similarly, your data will be processed distributively on multiple machines. So to understand this, let's take a small layman example. Suppose there is a school, and in that school there is a principal and there are 10 teachers as well. Now there is a task of checking 1000 answer sheet. The principal may be qualified enough to do that activity, but checking 1000 answer sheet is a time consuming process. So instead of doing it by himself, if the principal can distribute the task among 10 teachers, the same task can be completed in less amount of time. This is very old mathematical concept. More number of workers will be taking lesser time to complete the job. And the vice versa, less number of workers will be taking much time to complete the job. So just like school, when you are dealing with large amount of data, instead of doing it on a single system, you can distribute it among multiple machines, so that your large amount of data can be processed very easily with the help of multiple systems. So with the nature of distributed, we can deal with large amount of data. So now let's talk about the concept of Hadoop, that is master-slave architecture. Just comparing this school example with the Hadoop technology. In Hadoop, there is a master machine, as you can see, which you can compare with the principal. Just like principal was giving instruction and distributing the job among teachers, similarly in Hadoop, master machine is distributing the task among slave machines. So we have one master machine, we have one secondary master, because in case master is down, there must be some backup. Just like in school, there is vice principal who can take care of the responsibilities. So apart from master and secondary master, all other remaining machines are slave machines. So as a user, we always interact with master machine. So we can request the master that we have this large amount of data and we want to store it distributively on multiple machines. And master machine will be doing that for you. Similarly, when you want to do some calculation, do some processing on large amount of data, you will again request the master machine. And then master machine will distribute your task among all the slave machines. Ultimately, the large amount of data can be processed very easily with the help of multiple slave machines. So this is about master-slave architecture. But here the point is, like whenever we are learning a new technology or whenever we are moving from one technology to another one, we should be very much clear like why do we need that, or do we really need that technology. So we are moving to the next slide and we'll be talking about like why do we need Hadoop. So there are a few factors. Let's start with smart. So Hadoop is very smart. Like whenever you are submitting a job, your master machine will be distributing the job among multiple machines. And suppose few of the machines are going down. There can be power failure issue, there can be virus attack, software bug or hard disk crashed. Anything can happen. In that scenario, your job will not be failed. Because Hadoop is smart enough to detect which machine is live and which machine is dead. So accordingly, it will reschedule that part of the job which is failed, and that part of the job will be executed again. Ultimately, after taking little extra time, your job will be definitely completed. So this is reliable. We can rely upon master machine, that master machine will be doing all these things for you. As a user, you have to just submit the job. Remaining things, that is scheduling of job and if required rescheduling of job, these things will be taken care by master machine itself. So Hadoop is completely reliable. As a user, you can rely upon Hadoop. The next is solves big data problem. Since we are dealing with very large amount of data and we want to do some analytics on this large amount of data. People are purchasing millions of products on Amazon, or people are tweeting different topics, different things on Twitter. So we want to do some analytics on that. So these type of analytics and to deal with large amount of data, this is possible with the help of Hadoop. The next feature of Hadoop is scalable. That means the number of slave machines in a Hadoop cluster is not fixed. As per your need, you can increase or decrease the number of machines. If you think the data is large and your 10 machines are not sufficient, in that case you can add more machine to the cluster. Or on the other hand, if you think that your jobs are getting completed in very less amount of time and you don't need those many machines, in that case you can even remove the machine from a running Hadoop cluster. So this is quite scalable. The next is flexible. So Hadoop is flexible enough that it can adjust with other technology. You have RDBMS, you have Informatica, you have some other reporting tools. Those tools can very well work with Hadoop. And the last but not the least factor is economical factor. It's really cost effective, because as well as hardware is concerned, whatever PC or whatever laptop you have at your home, that can be used as a slave machine in the cluster. And software wise, it's also cost effective, because you don't need to purchase anything from the market, you don't need to purchase a license for that. You can directly go to Apache website, you can download the required version of Hadoop from there, and you can use it. So these are a few points which are helping us to understand that why do we need this technology. So we are moving to the next slide, and this slide is about what is big data. Big data is mainly the story of 3 V's. So what are those 3 V's? Those 3 V's are volume, that is data size. As we have seen that large amount of data is being generated within seconds. If I talk about the data generated over the months or years, there will be very huge amount of data. The another V is velocity, the speed of data or the speed of change. As you have noticed that in few seconds, few accounts are created on WhatsApp, on LinkedIn, on Twitter, and large amount of data is being exchanged over the email, over the YouTube, or over the social networking website. And the third V is variety. We have transactional data, we have social networking data, we have YouTube videos, we have Google search, we have audios, we have videos. So we have the variety of data generated over the internet, and we need to analyze this data for the future, for the business intelligence. So under big data, Hadoop is the base technology. As we were talking about Hadoop, like this is a distributed storage and processing environment, which is giving the flexibility that you can store and process large amount of data distributively on multiple machines. Apart from Hadoop, we have the sub-technology list. So few sub-technology are listed here, which is HBase, Hive, Pig, Flume, Scoop, and an endless list of the sub-technology. So all this technology are under the license of Apache. The Apache is still working on that, and these technology are still being developed. So let's move to the next slide. The next is why Hadoop is important for careers. Nowadays, the Hadoop technology is on boom. Every company is jumping into the big data world. So the very first point is better salary. If you will compare the compensation, the salary of a Hadoop professional with other technology professional, you will find that it is quite higher. The billing rate of Hadoop consultant is quite high in India as well as in US. The another factor is we have the big companies which are hiring. All the big companies like Google, Yahoo, Apache, and Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, Amazon, eBay, Flipkart. These companies are having very large amount of data, and these companies are investing large amount of money into the development and the research on big data. So Hadoop is globally available. Every company, every country, you will find some Hadoop projects, because the data will keep on increasing in upcoming days. And to deal with that large amount of data, we would need some technology, as well as we would need